Managing debt has always been overwhelming. Scary payments, endless up, and constant stress. Anishek Kamal, founder and CEO of Debtzero, is shaking things up. Debtzero is an AI-powered application that unifies all your debts, creates personalized payoff plans, automates payments safely, and tracks progress with motivating milestones, helping young professionals pay off debt faster, save on interest, and reclaim their peace of mind. Hello, Anishek.
Hey, hi Renat. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining. Anishek, could you start by telling us about yourself and your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, I'm Anishek Kamal. My background has been in tech, so I have worked in around a decade at companies like Lululemon, Microsoft, and before that into consulting and primarily focusing into data and AI space. I used to be a solution architect, designing solutions and helping customers, Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies implement them. I moved to United States back in 2019, and and that is when you know the problem also started. What I have been working on, and I'll talk more about that. But yeah, moved in 2019, got married in 2020. My wife also moved over here, so we have been traveling a lot, moving a lot recently, like for the past couple of years in the United States. Um, Now settled in San Diego, California, beautiful city. Love the weather, love the vibe. And now I'm building Debt Zero Club to help people with debt management and debt planning, because debt is a huge issue in United States, and that is what we are looking to solve with Debt Zero.
In your Urban Watch magazine interview, you have spoken openly about carrying significant personal debt in the past. What was the turning point that made you decide to solve this problem not just for yourself but for others as well?
Absolutely. It did started from a personal problem for me. So as I mentioned, like my I got married in 2020, and my wife wanted to do her masters. That too, she got into Columbia, but you know, if you know Columbia or any Ivy League colleges, their fees are really high. So we took a student debt for her, and it was huge. It was almost 80K. Plus, on top of it, I already had a couple of credit cards, personal loans, which I took for some family emergency, and car loans. Right, so it kind of all combined was around 120K plus for me. And while she was going through her masters, I was the sole earner, back in 2021 and 2022, even in 2023. And we were living in really expensive city like Manhattan and Jersey City. So it was tough to manage. We were like really on paycheck to paycheck, not even like paycheck to paycheck. I would say I was technically in negative most of the month. So I used to just sit down on an Excel sheet, note down everything so on a week to week basis, and that kind of sparked the idea, like why am I doing this manually every time, every day. Also, the data is scattered around multiple applications. So if you have multiple credit cards, or mortgage or car loan or student loan, you are managing multiple different apps or platforms for each individual debts and liabilities, right? So that was kind of where it kind of all started. Like, why isn't anything to combine or bring, like, kind of provide you the visibility of all your liabilities at one single place, and help you, kind of plan for it, right? What you should do, because I'm not a financial expert. I'm just a engineer. The best thing is that I know some basic mathematics, so I can do that using my whatever understanding I have, right? So that is what I was doing on Excel or either Notepad, right? So that's where the idea started. And the point where it kind of changed, like I need to take a step for this, was like, again, understanding, when I saw like we are already 1.5 year into her masters, and we were not able to do anything, like not travel, not eating outside, not making some of those decisions which we should have, because we were like also really early in our marriage. So there are a lot of things that we missed out because we were going through that, you can say, financial struggle, right? So that is when thought, like, I need to change how I'm managing my finances and how I'm doing things. And also it kind of sparked the idea of Debt Zero.
Also, in that interview, you said debt is not just a money problem, it's also a behavioral problem. Can you unpack what you mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people think that, oh, I don't have enough money, so that's the reason I'm not able to pay my debts. But that's, not true. So whenever you get, like, apply for a debt, they look at your credit score, look at what you're making, and then they give you a debt. So you only get a debt when you're eligible to pay that debt. That is the first, basic principle of getting any debt, right? And that is how any company out there who's giving you a debt or liability makes any decision, like, okay, will you be able to pay it back? So definitely it's not money, right? But as people get a debt, their kind of thought process to get a debt is, is always good, that, hey, I will take this debt or liability, I will pay it off on time, and I will, for whatever purpose they are trying to take that, right? But that doesn't happen because they are not really consistent with their behavior and what they do on making payments, how they're making payments, how much they are how much they're paying back as well. So all those matters a lot, and this falls back to your behavior, right? How do you behave? How your psychology is, how your behavior is, right? If you like eating outside food, you're not going to stop it. You will swipe your credit card to go out to spend on, like, let's say, shopping, right? So it is also a behavioral issue which you need to change, like how you behave, how you do certain things on your day-to-day basis to adjust to that liability that you have added on into your finances, right? So now it is not same, so you have to make, I don't want to say life sacrifices, but life changes to adjust or adapt to that added liability or debt. And that is what I mean. Like, it is also a behavioral issue. So a lot of time people just, don't want to, change their behavior. And that's the reason it changes from a good debt, which you thought while taking it, turns into a bad debt, later down the line. And that is when they get into spiral, and it, kind of they fall into that, hole.
Let's talk about your product. What exactly does Debtzero do, and how does AI Power Plan work in practice?
Absolutely. So, to start with, as I mentioned, like, we are trying to simplify how people can get a complete visibility and understand where they are at, right? Because if you are using multiple apps, you are not technically getting a complete picture on day-to-day basis of where you stand from a liability or debt perspective, right? So you need to go into different apps, note down, take notes on either Excel or Notepad, right? And then you can do some basic maths and you can come to that number, right? So our first aim was like, how can we create a unified place, like, or a single place where you can get access to all your debts, right? You can see where you stand, what is the total debt, how many accounts do you have, how much are you paying in total as well. So you will be surprised, we did survey with 500 people, and we asked them what is the total amount that they're paying for their total debts, and also if they know what is the APR for their credit cards. 95% of the people fail to answer that, right? Because first of all, when anyone takes a credit card, they're just taking the credit card based on maybe credit limits or the benefits, right? They never check the APR, what APR is going to be. Even if it's a zero APR for the first year, and then it will be from the second year, right? And similar for the payments as well, they know like what payments they're making for some of the individual debts, but they don't know combining what is the total amount that they're paying every month. So that payment can be like $2,000, 1,000 or 500 as well, but they don't know exact amount, right? So that was kind of the finding. So people don't understand their data right now, like where do they stand. So that was the first approach, and that is what our app does pretty well. So once you sign up, it connects, you know uh, we do a credit soft pull, which doesn't impact your credit score in any which way. It is just a credit soft pull to get all your debt and liability accounts, whatever you have on your credit. And we take all the numbers, APRs, terms, and we show it to the user in a much more consolidated and simple view. to get them a clear picture. Then the second stage is planning, right? Again, as I mentioned, I'm not a financial advisor, or and 99% of the people in in this situation are not a financial advisor, right? So whatever we are trying to do by our own is just based on what we know, like basic mathematics, or based on our instincts, right? So how to make the right decisions and at the right time for the right account is also like matters in your debt. Like, for an example, like when you are paying, what you are paying for a particular account can impact how much interest you are going to pay overall in a particular timeline, and also how much days it can, or months or years it can increase or decrease in your overall payoff timeline, right? So these things are really important, and that is what like financial advisors do for you. But financial advisors are really expensive too, right? So no, not everyone can afford them. They charge around 200 to 300 per session, or there are different ways that they do it, right? But it is not affordable and accessible to a lot of people. So the idea was like, how can we replicate that same behavior of an advisor who looks at complete balance sheet of an individual, which is your earnings, expenses, debts, liabilities, your savings, 401k, and everything, and gives you a strategy or a plan that, hey, this is what you should follow, this is what you should do, and this is how you should do it as well. Our aim is to automate everything, but for the initial stages, we are just providing strategies and plans, and then later down the line in different, like for future versions, we'll get into automations too. But through the strategies, you will get like, hey, these are the accounts, how you need to manage them. If you have to make extra payment, when you need to make that payment, how much you need to make that payment. Plus, also we are adding a really cool thing that I think is cool for me at least, is impact. So with every strategy or a recommendation that we are suggesting to the user, we associate an impact to it. So you might have heard a lot of people have told you like, just pay 100 extra every month and it will help you save money. But how much money will it help save me, right? How much time will it help save me, right? And when I say time, that means like, if you pay extra, technically you are saving money on total interest that you were going to pay, but also it will reduce your timeline. So if you are going to pay it off in 30 days, it might reduce by 2 days, right? Or if you are not paying on time, that will increase it by certain days, right? So we show that impact to the user on by doing those mathematical calculations. So we have different models that we use. So we have mathematical models and AI models that do both the job, because AI models are not really good at mathematics. Just to be clear, why we are doing that. So that is what it does. It gives you an impact. It gives you a recommendation that, hey, this is what you should do, and how you should do it, and this will be the impact if you do it. What we are suggesting. So that is how it does. And then the third part is payments as well. So again, the first problem, which was the visibility, and the third problem is interconnected. Because if you see, again, to make payments as well, you have to maintain different apps. You don't know the exact payment. So we wanted to bring it at one place, that if you can see everything, then you should be able to pay everything as well from one point, rather than you utilizing multiple apps. So yeah, that's how Debtzero right now works. And it kind of streamlines that visibility to payment kind of process for a user, and they don't have to think, they have to just implement things to make their life easier.
Sounds amazing. Anishek, at what stage your startup today? Prototype, MVP?
So we are at an MVP stage. We are going to launch early October. So we have around 300 plus users on our waitlist right now. And our plan, we have an MVP ready. Actually, we are just waiting on some approvals for some of the APIs that we're using. Hopefully that will get cleared out by end of this month. But our aim is to open up our app to those waitlist users who have signed up for our app, and start kind of a feedback loop, get some feedback from them, make some of the changes if needed. So yeah, that's kind of our idea. We are still in MVP phase, I would say. It is still not going to be live for everyone. We do want to test it with those 300 plus users right now, and then after some feedback, we will open it to everyone.
Hmm. And your startup already is incorporated here in the United States.
Yes,
Yeah.
We are already incorporated, and yeah, we already have a website up for the sign up for the wait list. Yeah, as I said, like we just completed our MVP as well, just waiting on some of the approvals, and hopefully we'll have our app open to those 300 plus users.
Thank you. And debt management is a very sensitive area. And how do you build user trust, especially when people are asked to share their financial data with AI-powered platform?
Hmm. Absolutely, I think trust is really key for any fintech app or personal finance app out there. How we are doing it is definitely being more hand holding. I would say not even hand holding, that wouldn't be the right term, but talking to our users one on one and building that face value and trust early on. So um, we already spoke to a lot of users one on one. We have scheduled calls with them to understand their problems, what they're going through, how they're managing it in today's time, right? But we are also connected with them pretty we keep connecting with them pretty frequently. So they know me by my face. They don't just know like, oh, Anishek is someone out there on internet. So that's our initial idea, and that's the reason we also want to be right now exclusive to those 300 people first of all, so that we can do that. We can build good testimonials out from their experiences, get some really good positive feedback, and that will actually start um, a trust engine, you can say, for us, which we can utilize to gather and capture more and more users um, through cold outreaches on over the internet. So that's our approach right now. But we are also like, I am going through, I'm not a financial advisor by myself, but I'm taking on a financial coach program right now, so that I can actually work with someone, not even through app if they don't want to, but how can I help people through their struggles, right? So idea is to how we can activate it more and more, not even if they are not interested in app, but I do want to help people, and that's kind of the idea. So I think hopefully that will also help. So I'm right now going through a Ramsey financial coach program, which I'm into. I will be completing it by next month. So so that I'm not just building an app, but I'm also technically capable and certified to help someone if they come to me just as a financial coach, right? And also, if I am giving some suggestions to someone, it should be backed by some experience, some credibility that I have earned through something, right? So yeah, those are certain things that we are trying to do right now to gain some trust, build some testimonials.
Let's talk about business model. How are you thinking about monetization? How it's work? Is it freemium subscription?
Yeah, so we are going to be a freemium subscription based app. There is a free. It is going to be free for anyone to start, in which they can get some basic insights. They will get the visibility and basic planning as well. It won't be a lot in depth. They won't get access to payments. To get to those things, they need to get into a paid plan, which is going to cost them like around $9, $8.99. We have kept the price pretty low. We also did some willingness to pay with a lot of users, and also compared our prices with other fintech apps out there in personal finance space. Most of them, they charge like around $15 a month. So we have tried to be on the lower side, because we know like people are going through a struggle as well, people that we are targeting who are through debt. But we have also received a lot of positive response through our initial interviews, that because we are trying to solve a huge problem. Our app can help you save like thousands of dollars in annually, right? So people are ready to pay a small fee as well, if it just makes their life easier, solves a huge problem, um, and gives them a peace of mind. Because uh, stress and mental stress is also a huge factor to associated with finances. So it also comes into play, like how relaxed are you, like how much are you thinking about it. So, and that is what we want to make it easier for the users. So yeah.
And do you plan to integrate with banks, credit bureaus, credit unions?
Yes, absolutely. I think credit for banks, we are still not sure about that, but credit unions, absolutely. We have been talking to some credit unions as well. Credit unions are really forward into like helping their customers and users as well if someone is going through. So they are much open to these kind of partnerships and collaboration with startups and big companies as well. But our idea is like how can we make some of the things accessible. Maybe let's say a lot of companies provide a debt consolidation loan to different users, right? But it doesn't make sense to, like, if one of my user already has, let's say, a personal loan of 14%, I can't suggest them an another 14% loan. So that is like something that we are trying to do, that, from our values, right, that we have created, that we won't upsell anything that impacts users in a negative way. So we'll only promote like lower interest, so if you have 14%, and if we see that through our partners, let's say through our credit union partner channel, if you can get a 12%, right, because 2% as well means a lot in long term. So if that is a possibility, we'll suggest you that. But we will never will suggest you like a 14% or a 15% consolidation loan or any kind of loan, that because that is not going to help you. So yeah, absolutely, partnerships definitely are there on plate. There are all more different partnerships that we are thinking around. But yeah, credit unions are definitely on top of that list.
Okay, thank you. And how big is the debt problem today in the United States? How big is the market, and what trend do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. That market is huge. So when I started, this idea just came to me when I was telling you, right, back in 2021, 2022, right? I just started like from an idea, like, okay, can I see everything at one place, right? Can I get a complete picture? And I started looking into like, okay, is there any different solutions already out in the market that I can utilize? I wasn't able to find much. I even spoke to a lot of financial advisors, but I did a lot of research. So, just to give you a number, the US household debt market is around, it has already crossed 18 trillion this year. Um, that you can see, like, if you combine the GDP of multiple countries, maybe then, even then that, that number won't be matched, right? But what is more surprising, like almost 60% of the overall US population has some kind of debt and going through like they are struggling with that, like almost 60% of the people are struggling with that, right? Like having debt is much more higher number actually, like it is around like 90% people have some kind of debt, but not everyone is struggling, honestly. So but approximately 60% of the overall US population, which is around 200 plus million people, are struggling with debt on day to day basis, right? So it is huge, but right now we are trying to focus on an age group between 25 or 22 to 35 years of age, um, because I think that is a life stage where you make a lot of different decisions which can impact your life in negative or positive way. So, for an example, if someone who just recently graduated will get into a job, they'll apply for new credit cards, they might rent a new home, they might get a new car, or they can also get married in a couple of years, right? So that phase, that age group, right, between like let's say 22 or 25 to 30 is life changing or transitioning kind of phases for a lot of people, and we do want to kind of capture those users at that point so that they don't get into that bad spiral of struggle. And also they're like more used to using fintech apps on or AI related apps, so that's one of the reasons. Plus also Gen Z's and millennials has the most debt in US by the age group, so that is also like one of the factor. um, but yeah, those are some of the things, like, so the market is huge. We are trying to target the young professionals, and right now I think we have around 2 million young professionals every year getting graduating every year, getting into new jobs, starting a new life, right? So those are kind of initial target customers for us.
And what segment are you focusing on first? Students, young professionals, families?
I would say young professionals, right? Because students definitely. can be also targeted, but we wanted someone like who just recently graduated, let's say in the past 3 years, who started working in, like, they're living in a metro city. They have at least a minimum like $5,000 of debt, up to like 30,000. They are making at least 45,000 annually. So those are certain criterias that we have for our ideal customer profiles that we want to target. So definitely young professionals who just graduated in the past couple of years, started working somewhere, because now they have like fresh money flowing into their accounts, and they want to get access to a lot of different things. So we want to be there at that point of time and help them throughout the journey.
Hmm. And let's talk about go-to-market strategy. What channels have you found most promising so far?
So we have been testing a lot of channels. We are definitely not ready yet for the GTM because we are still at MVP phase right now. But we have been testing a lot of different channels like LinkedIn, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram. So we have tried testing a lot of different channels right now, and LinkedIn has worked really good. Reddit has been great as well. Reddit just has a lot of involvement and effort onto it, I would say, because you have to be really specific on what and how you are trying to convey, and what you want from the platform or the communities, right? Because just to give you some idea, like personal finance community is huge. It has 22 million users, right? But there are also restrictions on a lot of these subreddits, what you can do, what you can't can do or not, right? So you have to be like really focused on what you want to convey and how you want to convey onto these platforms. But the another source is definitely we are looking for brand ambassadors for, like like a face, you can say, right? For our social platforms like Instagram or TikTok. We actually started speaking with identifying some influencers. I wouldn't say influencer like big influencers, but some people who have gone through the same similar kind of debt journey, or who are trying to get go through the similar journey, and they're documenting it on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. And maybe so we have spoken to a couple of them. We haven't finalized anything yet, but we see a good promise onto that as well, because they directly have access to a lot of target customers that we want to capture as well, and it can also open up a different altogether a flow of new users to us. So yeah, these are some of the channels we have tested right now, like we are testing them right now. We haven't made any decision which one will be going forward with actually, but we'll make that decision after, like MVP phase.
Thank you. Let's talk about your team. Who's in your team today?
So we are a team of I would say three people, four people actually now. So there are two founders, me, and it's a uh, interesting part. But my name is Anishek, and my co-founder's name is Abhishek. So yeah, a lot of people think that we are brothers, but we have known each other for more than 6 years now. I met him, it's an interesting story. I met him into an event in Bangalore in India. So he's still based out of Bangalore in India, and he comes from a background of marketing, helping startups build do GTM from 0 to 1 stage. So he has been taking a lot of like doing a lot of exercises on GTM, go to market, trying out different things. And I have more technical background, so I have been focused. But we also have two people on our team as a developer. So we have Vikram, who has around 15 years of experience working into as a full stack developer into industry. He has worked for companies like Visa and other startups as well. He have been a previous founder as well in past. So he is kind of our lead founding engineer right now, working with us on our app. And then we have Harshita. She is also on the backend engineering side. She recently joined us. But yeah, that is just team of four people right now. We are just grinding together to build the app, get the MVP out, and get more customers.
And when it comes to choose your co-founder or
Mhm.
teammates, how do you know this is the right person to build a startup with?
That's a really interesting question too, because we started working on Debt Zero this year in 2025, but I already had this idea and I started looking for co-founders back in 2024. I went through a lot of different platforms like Y Combinator matching, Coffee Space, even like Blind, if you don't know about Blind, but I have posted on Blind, found people from there and on Reddit. Spoke to a lot of people, but I do have a process to, you know, um, on identifying what I am looking for. And that is what I initially do. I don't commit to a co-founder directly from day one. We go through a testing phase and exercises, right? We try to do certain small things together to see how we are thinking, what is our, if our wavelength matches or not, right? How they think, and it's not just about me, but it is more about like how do they think about the idea, the vision, the mission, right? What we want to solve for, those kind of stuff. So to give you some idea, I've already worked with four different people till today. Abhishek was just, I wasn't even thinking of Abhishek as a co-founder. It just happened because I've known him for long, and I was bouncing this idea, with him, like, what do you think about it? And he like he was really aligned with the idea, the vision, how he was thinking, the conversation. And I've known him as well for multiple years, right? So I knew, like, I know this person as a person, individual, but now I also see his thought process, how he thinks, because I haven't worked with him before this, ever, right? It has been just as a friend. So it's been interesting. But he was really interested. We started working on it, initially, I think in May. We did a lot of exercises and we kind of just hit off pretty well. And I primarily look for, like, if someone is aligned with the vision as I am or not, right? How much committed are they onto the idea? Because a lot of people have committed to me, but they take this as a side project and they're like, hey, I'll keep doing it on the side. I'm like, no, it is not going to work out. I need someone who, you know um, is ready to take a lot of risks as well. So those are certain factors that I primarily look into. And, like, for example, Abhishek is full time on Debt Zero. He left his job. So that kind of also gives you a better idea, like, okay, how much committed, is someone on something. So yeah, that's kind of my process. That's what I have gone through, and that's how we, like, landed. Like, that's how I have Abhishek now on the team. It's been amazing working with him. So yeah.
Amazing. What's next for your startup in next 6-12 months?
Uh, Definitely, impacting as much users as we can, right? But I know, like, we don't know, like, what that number will be, but we are estimating at least, like, in the next year, we should have, approximately like 10 to 20K people on our platform, um, with around 8 to 9% of conversion to kind of paid plans as well. So that's our kind of idea right now. And as I said, like, we are really early with everything testing. We are still in MVP, so we'll see how it goes and what will happen. But our idea is not to, like, be really fast and really slow. We want to maintain a good balance, have a
Mm-hmm.
lean team, and then we are also, like, and it also depends on a lot of different factors. We are going to start our fundraising as we go through the MVP phase. We want to raise some funds. So again, the speed or the number of user acquisition will change and will be impacted on how we are able to raise funds. Because, if an external money comes in, we'll be able to, invest more into, like, customer acquisition channels and, target more users. So that will definitely impact the growth. Right now we have been bootstrapping it, so that's the reason we are trying to be, like, lean and, not too slow, not too fast. So yeah, in the coming months, late this year, we are going to start fundraising. Like, we have already started talking to a lot of, angels, small, VCs, to get feedback or, their interests as well, and then we'll start fundraising pretty soon.
Okay, awesome. So my last three questions. Looking back, what have been a tougher challenge so far, technical, business, or personal? And how did you overcome it?
There have been many personal, technical, and yeah, professional, right? So one challenge I already mentioned you is finding the right co-founder, right? So it's really tough finding the right people to work with you who are aligned with your idea, the vision, with the same commitment and with the same similar, like, open to take risk, right? So that is one thing. The second part is definitely technical challenges are there. Like for an example, right now we are delayed on our MVP launch. We have our app ready. We are just waiting on um, third party approval for production access. So that's not in our hands. Definitely we are dependent on someone else. So that, but still it is delaying our kind of going live date. So these kind of scenarios, then also technically, on like how we were building our models to work initially, we started with just llms are good, but they are not good at mathematics. So solving a lot of problems, we build our own models from scratch, mathematical models. Then also like how we are using AI models is really different than just plug and playing, like plugging something in like, oh no, open AI and something, because we don't want to expose user data to these different AI tools or APIs out there. So we have built our own systems around that. So we have also struggled through those challenges, but everything has turned out to be positive. So that's good. So I think those are some of the challenges I would say that we have faced, and we are still facing some of them, as I said, with API and stuff. And I know like we will be going through some more challenges in future, but I think we have a really good team in place, to get through those challenges pretty smoothly, or even not smoothly, but I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to get through them.
Imagine you in front of investor.
Hmm.
In one sentence, why should they invest in Debtzero?
Interesting question. Haven't been asked that question yet, but why should they invest it, right? Because uh, we are looking to impact 1 million users in the next 10 years. We want to make debt like a daily chore for them. Like, it shouldn't be an headache or a stress for them. It should be like something that they don't have to even think about. That's what we are trying to do, and that's the impact. So we want to help 1 million people get out of debt, or at least manage debt effectively, so that they are not going through stress. So if someone is looking to invest and if they want to make that difference, definitely Debt Zero is the place to be.
And what advice would you give to someone who is just starting their first startup today?
I would say get started. Like, don't think too much. I did that because, and that's the reason. So, as I said, like I've been thinking about doing this since 2024, but I started doing it in 2025, and I think like, it would have like been a little bit different based on the timeline and stuff. But yeah, just get started with something just today, because with different tools and applications nowadays, like AI tools which can help you build a lot of, like, I'm not a front end guy, I'm more of a back end guy, but still I can like build front end apps now that is amazing using AI, and pretty quickly as well. So there are like not so many roadblockers that can stop you from doing certain stuff. You can find people through different channels as well. I mean, definitely finding people is again a challenge, the right people, but it is much easier and convenient to do it in today's time. So I would say just get started. Like, don't think too much, or don't wait too much. Just start, put it out there, get the feedback, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you, Anishek. Thank you for frank conversation.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. It was really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.